Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. Revo on pole from Catfish and chase points leader UK Ball. Then it's Remy LeBeau in 4th. Lars Leclerc in 5th, and the Red Devil starts 6th. Pablo Sierra starts 7th from Pierre Gasly and Oscar Folstad. Then it's Ica World, Tommy in 11th, and Mohamed Awawi starting 12th. Ben Alan Lee starts 13th from Daf Sanchez and Tonali Gabo. Then it's Marcus Nelson, Enoch Hugh, Zach Wallace, Sebastian Ocampo, Babinus Jr., Daniel Bontasarov, and Zay Lane. Well, the final round of the chase then, Revo must finish ahead of UK Ball if he's to become the Chase Cup winner, as the chase now ends. And that's a very mediocre start from both men on the front row. I think Catfish might have a better shot coming through turn number 1 on the outside, not quite able to make the most of that. Revo, however, still in the lead. UK Ball doing his best to try and challenge Catfish, trying to go around the outside of turn 3, but he's got Remy LeBeau for company. But now he's got a very good run heading into the next turn, turn number 4. He's alongside Revo, and he's going to have the inside line as well for the first time all day. And it will be UK Ball taking the lead in Las Vegas, Nevada. As Revo's still looking for a way to get past him, looks to the inside, goes deep, just about misses the rear tyre. Catfish still in the top 3 after an amazing qualifying. The Red Devil fighting with his own teammate, the 2 Kiro drivers having a little bit of infighting. That might go past the end of the race, but out in front it is still UK Ball and Revo, the 2 former teammates, still squabbling over the lead, and who gets to become the 2nd ever Chase champion. Revo's still alongside. The gap is under 100th of a second, just about over now, but it's still so close. They are both side by side. This is some great racing between the 2 of them on the opening lap, and it's going to come down to the 4th to last turn, the W section of the track, and Revo with the inside line coming out of it currently leads the way. UK Ball, he's on the very far edge of the outside. He rarely ever wants to be there, but he just about keeps it out of the barriers, and he's now swapped to the inside as they begin the 2nd lap, sends it down the inside and takes back the race lead, and it's a virtual safety car and RQ out of the Las Vegas Prix. And that's unfortunate for him. Virtual safety car has been called as UK Ball leads from Revo and Catfish. And just fun facts about where we're actually racing. We call this the Las Vegas Prix. And in fact, when you think Las Vegas, you're not thinking about Las Vegas. You're thinking of an unincorporated city in Nevada called Paradise. That's where they even have the Las Vegas sign, not even in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as we now get back racing, I do believe is actually in Las Vegas, but the Las Vegas Street Course is in Paradise, Nevada. On board with Revo, 5/10 of a second off the back of UK Ball. He came into this race 5 points of the chase points lead. So for him right now, if Revo was to win this race, he would be champion. If UK Ball finishes behind Revo, but it's not for the win, it's still very likely that the Power Motorsport man will become champion. Pulls to the inside as the Red Devil does the exact same thing behind them. Into the W section they come. Revo takes the lead in Las Vegas. Red Devil in 3rd gets himself up into, 3rd position and drops Catfish quite a while. We're behind now in terms of the interval. Fastest 3rd sector for Revo at 22.049. As the Red Devil coming through turn number 1. As it stands, Revo is the chase champion. But of course, we haven't reached the first stage of pit stops, and just pointing this out about Sebastian Ocampo, he started in 19th and has already gained 6 positions off the race start. Very good start for the number 76 man, currently 3rd in the Chase Cup standings. But I doubt he'll actually remain there, considering how some of his rivals are scoring points currently. Remy LeBeau fighting with Tommy, both of these drivers in the chase for the Cup, both of them eligible for the chase for the Cup, but neither of them will be likely to win it because the gap between Revo and Ocampo, the man in 3rd, coming into this race was already over a race win. Red Devil in 3rd. Defending hard from Catfish as his teammate defends hard from Tommy, and in fact has attack mode, so he got past Melia. Here comes U-Cable going down the inside, and he tries to take the race lead. They're still side by side, but I think that will be it. But here comes Revo, looking to the inside of the final turn on this Las Vegas street track, but swings a little too far out. Fastest lap goes to the Power Motorsports band. Down the inside comes Revo to take the lead in Vegas. And we've got yellows in the third sector further behind these guys. That is a yellow car. That is Ocampo, who has lost part of his front wing and will have to come into the pits at the end of this lap. Rear wing wide open for a U-Cable. This is one of the greatest duels for position I have seen in a long while. In my 20 seasons of commentating over the ERL, I don't think I have seen racing like this in quite some time. And who else for it to come from other than two drivers, the two most experienced drivers, U-Cable, who has raced in every season of all of our in any of our championships, and Revo, who has raced in all of the seasons of all of our championships. He's been in not just the 2017 and 2018 BDS Formula 1 championships, but every season of the ERL. Meanwhile, U-Cable decided to focus solely on the BDS F1 championship, and you've seen how well that's worked out for him. Revo goes down the inside after having attack mode and easily takes the lead. No contest there for the man who decided to do double duty in season 12 and 13, but here comes U-Cable looking down the inside, forces Revo quite wide and dives into the pits. We've got pit strategy. The Red Devil comes in as well. Michelin going a step softer for this race to test out a different compound that they might use for the main season of season 21. Mediums go on for U-Cable. But will that be the only stop he must make? And if it is the only stop that he must make, would that mean that the one stop and the overcut would be more advisable because of the fresher tyres that you might get? However, at the same time, tyre wear never really has been too much of an issue around the circuit. I know Ocampo has come out of the pits at the back of the pack, but luckily for him, it's the same lap that U-Cable did it, so I think the team down at Andretti might just pass that off as, yeah, we were always going to stop at this point in time. 2 seconds the gap between Revo and Catfish. Catfish still looking for his first win back and his team Sims Motorsports' first win. This is going to be a storyline that follows them throughout the rest of their time in the ERL until they can take home a race victory. Zay Lane being the head of a bit of a train here. Zach Wallace trying to get himself quite a ways up the order. But look at U-Cable. He is moving up into 13th. As Bob Tasarov trying to follow him through. Both of these drivers with Renault powertrains behind them. Further up, you've got Marcus Nelson and Bamness Jr., both of these drivers with DS powertrains, as Revo and Catfish both into the pit with Remy LeBeau and Pierre Gasly. And I think that would be Lawless Leclerc leading an Prix for the first time in a long while. But U-Cable is 5th, and in fact, quite a few seconds ahead of Revo. How many seconds is that he's gained by doing the undercut? Quite a lot, and Ocampo is out, sliding into the second half of the barriers. And that is day over for the Andretti driver, and his hopes of holding on to third in the Chase Cup standings might have just dropped off a little bit. But now, returning to the fight up front, not just U-Cable in 5th and Revo in 9th, as he is 5 seconds off of the Power Motorsport man. It's a fight for the lead itself. Tenali Gabo versus Lawless Leclerc. Leclerc returning to the ERL throughout the Chase and Season 21 for Trackhouse Racing, and I feel like this is a really Trackhouse sort of day. As now he's going to have to defend from the Sims man behind him, who's going to get attack mode. Now with attack mode, here comes Tenali Gabo into the hard braking point of the W section of the track. Leclerc doing all he can to keep him at bay. Side by side they go. It was a second move looked at for Gabo, but just didn't quite work out. Further back, U-Cable lurches up into third position. Gabo losing a lot of time to the Trackhouse driver in front of him. He comes in, Gabo stays out to lead laps for Sims Motorsport. 7 laps on those mediums means that both U-Cable and Revo are safe to the end of this race. But unfortunately for Revo, here's something that we've just found out. He's not just been undercut by U-Cable, but by the Red Devil as well. Here's a potential pass for the lead that could be coming, but not quite yet. I don't know what it is about Gabo, but it just means that drivers usually second guess their second guess, but still a move made for the race lead. U-Cable leads in Las Vegas, Nevada with 5 laps to go. Gabo in second now. He's likely to come in soon. Revo looking down the inside on the Red Devil and taking third away from him. He's within 5 seconds of U-Cable, but any hopes of a time penalty headed the way of the Power Motorsport man is unlikely, because you're not likely to break track limits, as here comes the Red Devil down the inside. Seems like the Dutchman helping the Briton, which is weird and unusual for any racing series. But here he comes with attack mode and a very good slipstream. He's pulling in closer, pulls out wide, and takes third. Just about comfortably now, heading through the breaking point, and in fact, that has actually pulled them close to the back of Tonelli Gabo. That's going to be very helpful for the Italians, whether that be Gabo or Revo himself. As now we watch the fight for second unfold with 4 laps to go. And for U-Cable right now, he can cruise as much as he wants as Pablo Sierra sets the fastest lap of the E3. U-Cable probably not considering any sort of fastest lap point yet, because he knows, he's probably being told that the Red Devil is keeping Revo at bay. He's probably aware of all of that happening behind him. But at the same time, tyre wear could be a bit of a talking point. 77% for Revo, 64% for the Red Devil, as the Italian gets himself up in second. The gap between first and second is 3.6 seconds. There's a chance that U-Cable and the Red Devil are going to try and do a 2-stop. But at the same time, I don't think that will be necessary in the slightest, with only a few drivers out. And is that Leclerc with a puncture? It is. Lawless Leclerc with a front puncture. And the Trackhouse Renault driver, who was leading a few laps earlier on, has now dropped to the back of the pack with a puncture on his front left tyre. And punctures are the only real way that you get so much action here in Vegas. And with that puncture being cleared up quite quickly, I think for U-Cable right now, he should be smooth sailing, unless Power want to call him into the pits. If they want to do that, they can go right ahead, but that might hinder their shots of taking home the Chase Cup. And it will be a Chase Cup won by a man who, in the regular season of Season 20, was 14th and struggled to even score any points throughout most of the season with Brawn GP. Ever since Power Motorsport came into the frame and changed their powertrains from Honda to Renault, it just seems like the Briton has just been so much more comfortable. He won last time out in Manila, and he's only got 3 more laps to go before he doesn't just win in Vegas, but he takes home the Chase Cup as well. But Revo is dropping the Red Devil by quite a considerable margin. He should be able to do these last 3 laps with those mediums. U-Cable might be able to do it, but I know for a fact that Revo should be able to do it. We've seen drivers do 7 laps on the medium tyres earlier on, and we should be able to see it again, as Nawawi in 15th on the back of that fight for 14th and defending from Gabo. How well is that working out for him? Because here comes the Italian, and in the number, I think it's 28, I forgot, 29 rather, and he takes 15th away from him as Zach Wallace makes a move on Babinis Jr. I'm keeping my eye on the mini-map, and U-Cable's into the pits! U-Cable's pitted! The Red Devil's pitted for a second stop! 2 laps to go! And tyre strategy could decide the Chase Cup in Vegas. Revo leads 2.2 seconds out of Catfish. Where does UK-Ball come out of the pits? He's not even in the top 10. He's come out and he is 12th. 12th after coming into the pits. Did they need to do that? Was that necessary? And more pressingly, will the top two both come into the pits at the end of this lap or the next? Because if Revo and Catfish don't pit, especially if Revo doesn't pit, then UK-Ball should have just stayed out. He does have soft tyres. He does have some absolutely fresh as heck soft tyres. So that allows him to charge through the rest of the field like a knife through butter. But still, it's an interesting decision at a pressure point in this stage of the chase for the cup, as Falstad now in 6th, trying to take 3rd away from Sebastian Ocampo in the chase for the cup. As here comes Daf Sanchez going past Ica World. He's got attack mode. Can he try and get past Falstad as well? That's the question on everyone's lips, and he's not quite able to do it because Falstad 2 has attack mode. But what is Revo going to do? He stays out, Revo stays out, Catfish stays out as well. They will start the penultimate lap of this Prix as Pablo Sierra comes in for his second stop. So that elevates everyone behind him as well. UK-Ball needs to get moving, and moving he is. He's trying to get 6th by going around the outside. Rarely works in this championship as Zach Wallace also comes in for his second stop. Should be able to try and get 5th here if he was just a lot closer to Falstad, but he is now up in 6th. He's trying to get himself up into the race leading positions, but he's got to make up 11 seconds in a lap and a half. That's simply just not possible anymore in this league. We saw it happen. We saw an opportunity at that happen earlier on in this championship. In fact, last race, Revo was trying to do the same thing as Babinus Jr. almost slides into the side of the Red Devil. Marcus Nelson got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision a few seconds ago. The Red Devil sets a fastest first sector. He's currently in 10th as Sanchez drops to 8th position, and here comes UK-Ball trying to get past his teammate. He is now up into 4th, but the gap between him and Revo is 10 seconds. 10 seconds is the gap between the top two in the ERL chase for the cup point standings. And Catfish in 2nd, doing all he can to give a good result for Sims Motorsport. So here he comes, coming down the hill to start the final round, the final lap in the chase for the cup. Revo leads the field from Catfish and Remy LeBeau. UK-Ball is 4th, and in fact, 4 seconds off of Remy. He could do this. He's gained so much time on Revo throughout that entire lap 11. He could do this. I'm not writing UK-Ball off of the books just yet. It is still possible for him to take home the chase, but he just needs to get past Revo at this point. He needs to win this race, or at least have Catfish get past Revo, and then get past Remy, and then get himself up into 2nd, which is by proxy getting past Catfish. That might be easier for him to do, but it does involve a lot more moving parts. UK-Ball now up into 3rd with the fastest first sector of anybody. But as it currently stands, it's too little, too late for the number 89 crew. Tommy sets the fastest first sector of anyone as well. And it just seems like the 2-stop was not the winning strategy for today. The 1-stop may have left both Revo and Catfish with tyres that are screaming for dear life. But as they now come through the W section, it might have just been worth it. He took home 2 race wins in the regular season. In season 19, he failed to win this race to take home the cup. He's going to do it for the chase. Revo takes home victory in Las Vegas and will become the chase for the cup champion. Catfish 2nd with UK-Ball 3rd with the fastest lap of 1:23.5, stolen by the Red Devil of 1:22.783. And that for UK-Ball is just the way the cookie has to crumble sometimes. I don't really know if Power Motorsport knew whether or not they were going to be able to make it to the end as Zach Wallace sets a new fastest lap. I'm not too sure if they knew whether or not they were able to make it to the end, but considering that Revo's medium said 35% tyre wear, I don't know if it was likely or not that he would have made it to the end. As we're watching Lawless Leclerc on his final lap After that puncture, he's over a minute behind everyone else. But he could still try and go for a faster slap here. Just as more validation to himself, as we're on board with the number 16. Heading towards the final turn now. Is it a faster slap for Lawless Leclerc, or will it not be? We had 2 retirements today in Ocampo and Q, and across the line, no new faster slap. This is the podium then. You've got 3 absolute veterans of this championship, 3 legends of the championship on the top 3 steps. But it is Revo who takes home victory in Las Vegas from Catfish and U-Cable. Then it's Remy LeBeau, the Red Devil, Oscar Folstad, Daph Sanchez, Pierre Gasly, Tenali Gabo, Ica World, Babinus Jr., Pablo Sierra, Mohamed Nawawi, Tommy, Daniel Bogdasarov, Ben Allen Lee, Marcus Nelson with that 5-second time penalty, Zach Wallace, Sadie Lane, and Lawless Leclerc, who was effectively a lap down, with the non-finishers being Sebastian Ocampo and Q. In the chase for the cup point standings, there's a half-court twist. He went from 5 points down to 5 points up, and Revo is the chase for the cup champion from U-Cable and Remy LeBeau. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Daph Sanchez, Oscar Folstad, Daniel Bogdasarov, Pablo Sierra, Marcus Nelson, Babinus Jr., and Tommy. Well then, it's been a postseason with a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it still gave us the same champion. We hope that you join us when we return for the preseason testing for Season 21. But as for me and all of us at BDS Formula 1 Motorsports, see you next time on the ERL Formula E Series.